Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ms. Nekopon. If this is your first time here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Sinnoh content in the future. Today we're going to take a look at a new grimoire featuring a beautiful Snow White gunner. The details of this grimoire is already in the developer notes, and I will put a link to that in the description box below. The new grimoire is called Rain of Iron Arrows, and I must say, I am very happy we have two Snow White banners going on at the same time. The other one being alternative Snow White in a classy nurse outfit, and of course this one where Gunner Snow White is just in a very bikini-esque sort of costume. This is not new to Snow White. She has two other classes that are very like bikini-esque, and I very appreciate that myself, although this is probably the one I like third out of all three of them. But it is still not bad. I think she could do better without the giant gun kind of like hiding her in the way. But I appreciate that she's wearing a face mask because it's very on par with the COVID situation going on right now, although I don't know how much protection it will actually give her. This banner will be going on from February 4th to the 17th. The short version of this banner I would recommend is actually just not rolling on it at all. The only interesting weapon in here is the Tome, but even then I'd recommend just waiting until the spec banner to come out. The class itself is the best item in here because it gives you cost +1 at job level 10. So with that said, you can definitely just save up some Medal of Desires to get her at the end of the month. The Nightmare here is also interesting, but it's not something you must get. The story skill itself is very interesting, and the Call skill is actually just a copy of Blue Poppy's skill. You really don't need anything else from this banner. But with that said, let's go over everything in detail. First, we've got Snow White here looking magnificent as always. The class itself comes with 100 magic attack, 300 magic defense, and 100 HP. With her Arcana, you can get an additional 400 magic defense. So she's a typical gunner class that comes with a lot of magical defense. If you need that stat, definitely grab her. But ultimately, we know the gem here is the cost +1. It's essential for anyone that's going to be playing this for the long game, so I really suggest grabbing it with Medal of Desires. Now also note that we don't need an Arcana to get it because it activates at job level 10. And Snow White of course comes with her weapon, which is the Crossbow of Justice. Crossbow of Justice has Evil Eyes of Defense 3. That deals great magical damage to one enemy while decreasing their magical defense by a little bit. This weapon is a Dauntless Courage weapon, but only Dauntless Courage 1. Unfortunately, at this point in our game, we really should be looking for weapons that has Dauntless Courage 2. So I wouldn't recommend rolling if you're just looking for the gun. Next, let's talk about the Tome, because it's actually pretty good. Here we have the Book of Moral Instructions. The skill is Incantation of Corrosion 3, which greatly reduces the magic attack and physical attack of 1 to 2 enemies. But unfortunately, the support skill is Replenish Magic 2, which really is detrimental because this is not a step-up banner, so we don't want to kind of roll on anything that isn't absolutely amazing. So my direct comparison for this book would probably be the Medical Book of Darkness and Conjuring Agreement. The stats across the board are all actually very even. Even when you break it down to the individual stats, they're actually not that far apart. They all have Incantation of Corrosion 3, which is an amazing color skill, but the thing is, Magical Book of Darkness has Armor Repair, which is really good, and Conjuring Agreement has Destroy Weapon, which is also really good. But because it has Replenish Magic 2 as a support skill, it is immediately worse than the other two books. So because of this, I recommend waiting for the spec banner, even though this is actually a pretty good tome. Next, we have the Polearm. This is Headhunter's Sickle. Its skill is Evil Roar of Protection 3. It deals magical damage to 1 to 2 enemies while giving yourself some magic defense. It also has an anti-magic damage barrier 2, which has a fixed chance of giving yourself magical defense. I don't really recommend this polearm. It has pretty low M attack, and for a weapon that has anti-magic damage barrier, it has pretty low magic defense. So I really don't recommend getting this. The last weapon is the artifact, and then I'll talk about the Nightmare after. This artifact is called Light Lamp of Hades. The skill is Evil Blaze of Protection 3, which deals magical damage to 1 to 2 of your enemies. And the support skill is Mental Focus 3, which increases your own magical attack when attacking. It has pretty high total stats, but unfortunately I think a lot of that stat has been misplaced. A lot of it is in P attack, which is pretty unfortunate. The M attack stat is not particularly high on this artifact, and the M defense is even lower. It's even worse. I think it's actually about the same amount of magic defense as like Shell Wings. so I actually cannot recommend this artifact either. Of course, now we can talk about Griffin, which is the new nightmare. Griffin is a nightmare that has the same skill as Blue Poppy, which is uplifting chant 3 after evolution. The overall stats for Griffin is just a little bit higher than Poppy, and it leans more toward physical. If your guild doesn't have someone with Poppy yet, this is definitely a popular choice. Poppy is still commonly used in color right now, so definitely get it if you don't have it yet. However, the unique thing about Griffin is actually the story skill. The story skill is pretty interesting because what it does is basically, if you or your allies have 70% or more of their HP, a boss cannot one-shot you. This nightmare will prevent it from giving you lethal damage. It will leave you at 1 HP. Now, I can see this being very useful in a lot of situations in Conquest. Think about the verse 3 in Soldiers right now, or Hard Ogre. I can see there's probably other bosses later that can one-shot us pretty easily. And for a lot of us that are rear guard, especially me, I'm a sorcerer, I'm not very useful in many of these conquests, and obviously I've been disheartened before too from completing any of the conquests just because it's so difficult for us to become useful in them. But maybe with this nightmare we can provide more value to our teams and not kind of just be dead weight. So to recap everything here, use Muddle of Desire to get Snow White because you really want to get the cost +1. Next, also consider getting Griffin if you don't have Poppy yet, or if you want a story skill that will help you out with some harder PvE content like Conquest. Sorcerers can consider getting the Tome if they want to, but personally, I'm going to be waiting for the spec banners. Lastly, we know there's a lot of banner activity coming up. We know that the slime collab will be coming up very soon. I'm not even sure if we're going to get a Valentine's Day banner. We will definitely get spec banners, and who knows what else they have in stock for us. Don't forget they also have the alternative Red Riding Hood that's coming out at the same time as this banner. And even though it's a rerun, it's a really good one for Crusher, so if you're Crusher, you have even more to think about. And lastly, don't forget the Royal Creator support campaign is still going on. So if you want a chance to win 100 crystals, don't forget to fill out the questionnaire. I will link it in the description box down below. The entry period will be ending at the end of February. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more SINoALICE content in the future. Thank you so much. I'll see y'all next time. Bye!